Yeah, we're very excited. I think we got Wade joining us. So we have three admission representatives from three different institutions in the US. And I will start. My name is Ling Zhang, and I'm the director for international recruitment at the Central Michigan University, which is located in Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
And then my name is Thomas Sayers. I'm the Assistant Director for International Relations at St. Leo University, which is going to be located in Tampa, Florida. We're very excited to present to you all today.
Wait, are you?
I'm here. I'm just having some trouble with my video, so I'll get that on here in just a second. I'm Wade Sherman with St. Cloud State University in St. Cloud, Minnesota. And looking forward to talking with you all today about the different opportunities that are available.
Wonderful. So there are over 4,000 universities in the US. And I know for you guys, you will think all the universities in the US are kind of similar or pretty much the same, but actually it's very different. So here we have three different universities. We have some public school, we have some private institution. And of course, the cost and the programs we offer and the scholarship are going to be different. And we'll be able to explain in details for each universities that we represent. However, we are happy to talk about how to finance your education in the US. For Central Michigan University, and of course, we'll talk, in details. We have in-state tuition and out-state tuition because we are a public institution. So the in-state tuition for undergraduate student will be much cheaper, and that apply to a student that lives in Michigan. And for international student, we do not have an international tuition rate. So the international student will just pay out-of-state tuition. Thomas, do you want to talk about your school maybe just a little bit?
Of course. So I have a nice detailed slide on our costs, but our tuition for international students and domestic students in and out of state is all the same. So we have a flat tuition rate all across the board for all of our students.
And St. Cloud State, and we'll talk about this a little bit in my presentation as well, we're in a similar situation that we are able to offer students a similar in-state tuition. So I'm also going to request if my video would be able to be turned on. I think it's locked up, but carry on, Ling.
Okay. And we each prepared a detailed slide to talk about scholarship. So we're not going to, talk too much about each institution's scholarship right now. But I would love to talk a little bit about jobs on campus and off campus. So for international student, you are qualified to work on campus for 20 hours per week, okay, when the school is in session, which means in the summertime, you could work full time. However, for international student to work off campus for the first year, you will have to classify it under some, really extreme financial hardship. Each school will have an office called the International Student Service Office. And a lot of times they are the expert, for our institution. So we have an office that are here to serve international students and explain the immigration part, the policy and, things like that. We call it PDSO or DSO. They are also the staff that could issue the I-20. So they are going to be your best friend if you have any questions regarding your status or your immigration status. So if you reach out, let's say student will come study in the US and suddenly, the student's parents lost a job or, something happened it will be classified as a financial hardship. So you can reach out to your International Student Service Office and talk with one of the DSO and apply for this hardship, which will qualify you to work off campus. But like I said, that will be under very rare circumstance. For example, I remember, I can't even remember which year, but when we have that big earthquake in Nepal, most of our students from Nepal, they were able to work off campus with the permission from International Student Service. So with that being said, every single international student, if you are on F1 status or on F1 visa, and if you're taking a full load courses at your institution, you are qualified to work on campus. However, most of the students will not be qualified for work study. So make sure you reach out to your international student office or reach out to career center to make sure the job you apply on campus, they are not work study, because those are financial aid related, and it's the federal kind of a financial aid, and it's only applied to domestic American citizens. However, for example, at Central Michigan University, so we do have a Starbucks on campus, like in our dorm or in our student center. So international student actually they could work in the Starbucks on campus. However, we do have another Starbucks right across the street, from CMU. But international student for the first year, you wouldn't be able to work, in the Starbucks across the street. So make sure if you're interested in learning more about, jobs, and of course, there's a CPT, which will allow you to do internship and work off campus, and also OPT. That's when you complete your study and you will be able to, kind of work full time. Off campus, of course. So make sure you reach out to your international student service office, or reach out to one of us, and we'll be happy to direct you and answer questions. With that said, I'm going to pass it to my colleague Thomas, and he can talk about accelerated degree.
Okay, yes, perfect. Real quick, do we want to go by the slide and go to?
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and continue by this slide. So Ling, if you want to carry on with your slides, and then I can go into mine as well.
Okay, so I will try to make it quick. So there are many factors. There's many different type of aid, for you to study in the U.S. And I mentioned on-campus employment. I'm not going to repeat that. And most of the international student, actually, they're going to come on the personal or a family fund. And a lot of times reach out to Education USA in your country, and reach out to your Minister of Education and see whether your government will fund your, education. And of course, sometimes there's a string attached. So you might have to return to your country and, serve at educational setting for certain years. So make sure you reach out to your government or reach out to Education USA. And private sponsors, sometimes, you might be able to find a family friend, or some of the students will be able to find their local church to sponsor them. And that's also the way. And you might not believe that, but the U.S. government actually sometimes will sponsor your education in the U.S. And please reach out to the embassy or Education USA, and they're going to be able to assist you. And with the university, we will each explain the detailed scholarship that we offer. So unfortunately for international students, you are not going to be qualified for the loans that are provided by the U.S. bank unless you have a U.S. sponsor that can co-sign your loan, which is going to be very rare, because if you don't pay back, that sponsor is going to have to pay back that loan. However, most of the country will offer education loans for the student who want to study overseas. Can we go to the next slide, please?
Of course.
And and of course, we have three of us, and we each works for individual institution. And Central Michigan University, we are located in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. There's actually no mountains here, but it's pretty pleasant because we're in the surrounded Great Lakes area, and we're in the east part of the U.S. We're not on the East Coast. However, that's some great advantage. Because we'll probably talk about that too. Because living in different part of the U.S., it's different, because the living expenses is going to be very different. So stay at Mount Pleasant, Michigan, the living expenses is going to be much, much, much cheaper than living in the New York City, which is on the East Coast. Can we go to the next slide, please? So as one of the top 100 biggest public school in the US, we actually offer over 200 majors and minors. And we have 6 different colleges. For example, those colleges, they are, like a college that, represent for many majors that has the same interest. So for example, under the College of Business Administration, so we have business administration, information system, or finance, or all these business related majors. Of course, we also have over 76 graduate programs that I know this is for undergraduate student. However, if you have questions regarding graduate programs, feel free to reach out to us and we'll be able to help you. So in the middle of the screen, we kind of put some of the sample majors, and we do offer over 200 majors. I can't really put all of them there. So we have from, fashion design to biochemistry to engineering to psychology. If you are interested, you can go to our website and you can get a complete list of the majors that we offer. Can we go to the next one, please? Okay, so talking about cost and the scholarship, as a state tuition, as a state institution, so the cost of attending is very affordable. So as an international student, you will pay out of state tuition, and without the scholarship, that amount is around 18,000 per year. Okay, so with the room and board, books and everything, we kind of estimated it's going to be around 33,000-ish per year without any scholarship. Okay, so if you look at this slide, we have 3 different scholarship that are marked in white. So those scholarship, they are really designed for international students, okay? And you don't need SAT or ACT score to qualify for this scholarship, and you do not have to submit a separate application. So if you applied and if you are qualified, automatically you're gonna get your scholarship. And for the President Award, it's a great, super great deal because you will be qualified for in-state tuition, and that will bring your tuition cost to around 10,000 per year. To come and study at CMU. In the middle of the slide, you see the Centralist Award. I mark it in yellow because this one is super, super good and very different and super competitive, okay? So you do have to have a certain GPA or a certain SAT or ACT score to be qualified to apply. And it does cover the full tuition, and some of them does cover full tuition and a room and board. So you could come and study at CMU pretty much for free. However, you do have to submit a separate application, and you do have to have a certain SAT or ACT score. But if you're interested in learning more, I'll be happy to explain details if you reach out to us or if we have time in question and answer. Can we go to the next one, please? I think that's pretty much a wrap up for me for Central Michigan University, and of course we'll stay here for question and answers if we have any questions. But please reach out to us if you have any questions. Go to our website, send us an email, or follow us on the social media. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks so much, Lynn. If you want to go ahead, I'm Wade Sherman with St. Cloud State University, and I'm going to talk a little bit about our different scholarships that are available, both merit and non-merit based. And the nice thing about all of our scholarships as well, I saw one of the questions pop up about it being whether it was location specific based on what country you're coming from. For our general scholarship, I'm pleased to say it is not. However, that is a great point that someone has asked about is there might be something specific in your country to look at. So make sure you're looking at all of those opportunities. We may not be fully aware of what's available in your specific country. So make sure that you're reaching out to your Education USA advisor and counselors to find out where we go from there. So if we could advance to the next slide, please. So just a little bit about St. Cloud State University. St. Cloud is located in Minnesota, and our campaign is Unleash Opportunities. And so our mascot as a university is a husky, and so kind of the concept of unleashing your potential. And Minnesota is in the center of the United States, just under 500 miles from Chicago. And we're just north of Minneapolis, St. Paul. So we're a regional university with a town population of about 66,000. So next slide, please. One of the exciting things about St. Cloud is our international student enrollment. That we're over 12,000. We have a student faculty ratio of 20 to 1. We just celebrated, and we're really excited. I've even got my coffee mug this morning, that we just celebrated our 150 years as a university. And so we're an established accredited university in the Midwest. We're a public university. So that is another difference that we can talk about, is the difference between public and private universities. Quite often private universities are able to have a lot more individual funding, whereas public universities being operated by the state are a different tuition level sometimes. And so, and it also sometimes means that our state universities, we don't have quite the flexibility, but we also are subsidized by the state. So some give and take in that regard. Next slide, please. Just a little bit about us. We're ranked in the top 3% of the most affordable universities in the United States. And a lot of that's because of the scholarship that I'm going to talk about. Our student services rate is #1. And again, that average international student scholarship of 7,416 is really big. And that's important for us to look at. And so I'm going to talk some more about that on the next slide. One of the things to understand is the way that universities quite often divide up, and Thomas had mentioned this as well, that that there's a difference between in-state, out-of-state, and then sometimes even a third category of international tuition, and they can be very different. And the reason that's established is that state universities were meant to provide for the people in that state, and so they were going to get it at the cheapest cost. One of the unique things that we have done in the state of Minnesota, we value diversity in such a phenomenal way that all of the Minnesota State universities, and especially St. Cloud State, are allowed to offer in-state tuition to all of our international students. Now, this is a phenomenal opportunity. And so all of our students, regardless of your GPA or any of that, automatically get this scholarship of $7,400, bringing our total cost, including living expenses, insurance, to about $22,000. So that's a phenomenal bargain for a year's worth of tuition in the United States. So next slide, please. We do that through what's called our Academic and Cultural Sharing Scholarship. And that scholarship is eligible regardless of what country you're coming from. As long as you've been admitted to the university, you will receive that scholarship. It is not available to be applied towards our Intense English Center, which we have on campus. So if you're feeling that you need some practice with or assistance, or even building that confidence with English, that it is not available to that. It's also not available in particular for our Masters of Business, our MBA program. And nor is it, we have another campus in Plymouth, and our doctoral programs aren't eligible for that as well. I'm going to call out on my slide almost a mistake that we've put online. We, because of coronavirus, have modified that students that are not able to make it to the US would still be able to receive this scholarship and take their online classes. So there's a little bit of change there. We're in a whole world of change right now with coronavirus, and I'm sure it's the same out in the region that you all are at. So we're the same in the United States, and we're just trying to be as flexible as possible so that students have that opportunity. If you could progress to the next slide, please. We have over 200 different undergraduate programs. And so this is just a list of some of the most common ones, everything from computer science to engineering to liberal arts. We have a phenomenal liberal arts college and a school of fine arts. So looking at all different directions of arts and media, mass communications, so public relations, advertising, etc. All of those are phenomenal opportunities at St. Cloud. And once again, with being a medium-sized school, we have a wide range. And what I always like to say is, if it's not exactly on the list, there's probably a way of designing it to the way you want to get to. So, have a look at that. If it's not exactly on the list, reach out to myself or someone in our booth. We would love to talk more with you about that and some of those different opportunities. I haven't put on the slides the graduate programs that we have, but we do have over 60 graduate programs as well. Again, everything from that MBA to a master's in engineering management. So if you're looking at continuing with your studies, or if you happen to be on here as a graduate student, know that we have some great opportunities for you there as well. Next slide. So just some contact information about us. The best is world2scsu at stcloudstate.edu. That our website is there. We love coming out to your region and enjoying being out there. I think all three of us are nodding our heads. We're so sad we're not with you because we just love coming out that way. And it's a real thrill of our jobs to actually be able to interact with each of you. That we're excited about this, and regardless of whether you went and end up at St. Cloud or St. Leo or Central Michigan, no, we're just excited to welcome you to the United States. That we just have a passion for understanding more of the world, and so that's where actually we value our international students, is understanding what you bring to us. That you're bringing us the opportunity to understand more about your region that we may not know. And so this is a really positive thing for us. And that's part of why we offer that scholarship to all of our international students, is what you bring to us. So do reach out to us on stcloudstate.edu, and we're here all day. There are several of us in the booth as well. So all over to you, Thomas, and thanks. I think you're advancing the slides, is that right?
I am. Thank you so much, Wade.
Yeah,
and
thanks, Thomas.
Thank you guys so much so far. So again, my name is Thomas. I'm the assistant director here at St. Leo University. So St. Leo is a little different than the other two institutions that you heard of, as it is a private school. So we'll kind of talk into the private school education a little bit, and also touch in general on ways to accelerate your degree and what that really means, because there are a few different ways that you can accelerate your degree. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So St. Leo is on the East Coast. It is in Florida. So we are in a very warm tropical-like environment all year round. The coldest it gets in the winter is roughly probably going to be around 10 degrees Celsius. So it's very tropical. The leaves stay green all year long. And the campus is actually situated about 35 minutes north of Tampa and about an hour away from Universal and Disney over in Orlando. So you're right smack in the middle of everything. If you're a hospitality major or a tourism major, your backyard is the tourism capital of the United States. So we are, again, on the coastal. We are near beaches and a lot of different outdoor activities within the state of Florida here. So briefly, I'm going to go over our cost of attendance and our different scholarships and really break it down and some of the differences. So if we take a look to, this is the yearly cost of attendance for the year. So I know as you're beginning your college search, you're going to see a lot of different facts and figures for a lot of different universities, really talking about different scholarships. It's really important that you're you understand what type of scholarships that you all can qualify for. It's great that you all came out to this presentation today, because different universities, and I think is a great example today, will offer different scholarships, but there's also different outside scholarships that you can qualify, as Ling was saying earlier, for different scholarship opportunities. So it's really important that you do your homework and you really continue to do very well in your high school. Really, I know right now with the digital classrooms, with the digital learning, it may be a little more difficult to, stay on track, stay on focus, but it's really so important to finish strong because you're so close to completing that degree and taking the next steps to go to higher ed. At St. Leo, we offer merit-based scholarships. So all of our students automatically qualify for a scholarship review once they submit their application. And a merit-based scholarship is based off of your high school transcripts. So our scholarships can range anywhere from around $10,000 to $14,000. And this year, one of our newer scholarships is actually our Global Citizen Scholarship. So this is a special award scholarship that is stackable on top of our merit-based scholarships of an additional $3,000. So this is for those students that really do stand out when they're going through the application process. That's why I stress the importance of really ensuring that you find the passion, you find the drive to really finish strong throughout your senior year, whether you're in person, whether you're doing classes digitally, and really find ways to still get involved and make yourself stand out from your other classmates. That's so much, that holds so much importance. So if we take a look at our cost of attendance, this is the cost for the entire year before any scholarships are applied. So that would cover your tuition, this covers your room and board, which would also cover your unlimited meal plan. And then we also throw the cost in there for books. That would be roughly just a little bit over $39,000 for the year. And again, that's before any different scholarships are applied. So it's important. I think a lot of times students look at, oh, that's the estimated cost. Oh, that may be out of my price range. That's why it's really important to, be able to do your research and be able to see different scholarships that are offered throughout different programs. And also speaking on transfer students, I don't know if we have any transfer students that are joining us today, but if you were to attend, as you were saying earlier, there's over 4,000 universities in the United States. So if you're to attend a community college, which is a 2-year school where you would get your associate's degree, a lot of U.S. schools have different transfer programs as well, different cooperations with community colleges. At St. Leo, we actually have a 50% off tuition. So you're able, if you do get your associate's degree at an accredited school in the United States, you could then transfer over to St. Leo and get 50% off your tuition for the remaining 2 years. So that kind of brings your tuition cost down to the cost that you get in the community college. So it's something, that's just another type of scholarship, another form that you could definitely be on the lookout for when going through your college search. So now I want to take the time to kind of go over the accelerated degrees. There's a lot to unpack in an accelerated degree, and there's different ways you can really undergo an accelerated degree. Schools will have different programs such as a 3+1, 2+2s, 3+3s, and it's a great way to be able to advance your degree path and get multiple degrees in a shortened period of time. So taking a look, again now, an accelerated degree program is not one that's going to be for everyone. You are the type of student that enjoys going to school, you enjoy spending time on your homework, and you are very, very good with time management. The word accelerated means you're going to be taking a lot more classes in order to finish faster. So specifically at St. Leo, we have a 3+1 program. With our 3+1 program, that's where you would do your bachelor's degree in 3 years and then your master's degree in 1 year. You may think, well, why would I want to do something like that? Going back to the cost, going back to the savings, that would be 1 whole year of your undergraduate degree tuition saved. And then you're going on to your master's degree and completing that in 1 year. So typically the bachelor degree track in the United States is 4 years. Master's programs can range anywhere from 1 year to 2 years. So you're completing those 2 degrees within 4 years. So you're saving roughly about 2 years of time, and that really allows you to, if you're wanting to go into OPT, you can go into the OPT a little sooner. If you're wanting to return home and really just solely save the money, that's also another just great way to do that. Our programs are specific to our business programs, and then our computer science and cybersecurity programs for the undergraduate degrees. We have around 50 different undergraduate degree majors. So for our accelerated degree programs, for the 3+1, it would be solely with the business or the IT programs. Also, something to keep in mind, if the school you're applying to requires you to submit the SAT or the ACT, different programs like this will require you to have taken ACTs, the SATs, maybe submit some more additional admissions requirements. So it's always important when you're applying to understand the individual requirements for each different university's accelerated degree program. At St. Leo, we would require the SAT for this program. You would need an SAT score of about 1270 and a cumulative GPA of 3.5 on the US grading scale to be reviewed for this program. Now, overall for the admissions process, we are a test optional school. So this would be the only program that we do require that you submit the SAT scores. There may be other requirements at different institutions, such as writing a more personalized essay to why you want to do an accelerated degree program, how you think it'll benefit you. You may have to undergo an interview process just to make sure that you're being set up for a program that you'll be successful in. Because again, it is a program where you're going to have a huge undertaking. So you're going to take a heavy class load, and you have to be able to maintain the classwork, your social life, and really still ensure that you are doing well in school. Now, kind of shifting away from maybe accelerating your degree in the extent of taking more classes in a shortened period of time, there are different ways to earn transfer credit. So different institutions hold different policies on transfer credits. We in particular accept CLEP classes. So it may be something usually students are not familiar with CLEP, but CLEP is where you can earn transfer credit, but it's in a form of taking an online test. So it's before you actually enter the institution. You would go online. I believe they do it for about, I'm not sure in the exact number of classes that they do it. That's always constantly updated, but it's an opportunity for you to pay for the study exam. So you will practice for maybe 3 or 4 weeks before taking the exam. You're going to get the study guide for the exam. You're going to be able to go over all the questions that will be asked on that exam. And then you would then take the test. And if you pass that test, then you would be able to transfer in those credits. The test is considerably lower than, obviously for cost-wise and time-wise of taking that course during your program at school. So you can bring in credits up to that extent. There's 30 different CLEP exams that you could take. So mainly for the general education courses that you could do that with. So that's one option. And then also Cambridge, IB, and the AP classes are other great ways that, you're able to bring in transfer credit. So specifically for St. Leo, we take transfer credits up to potentially a year. So up to 30 credits, that would all be upon review of your official results from the different exams or from the different courses you have taken. So really, I want to hit one more time on the benefit to doing something of an accelerated degree program. This is something that you're going to be able to, once you graduate, really show that you are someone who is a leader. You are someone who is a self-motivator because you're able to take on a heavy coursework. You're able to really manage your time, and that's going to be something that's going to be valuable for you going on forward in life. Those are skills that you can bring up in a job interview. And these are just, let's face it, basic skills that you can use every day to really show that you set yourself apart from everyone else in the job field, in your personal life. You've shown that you are a tier above everyone else, and that you can really rise to the top and rise to that occasion. So that's something that's just really, something that's I think a newer concept, and something that is an interest to some students, and to some students it's not. I can tell you just a little personal example for myself. When I was going to school, if somebody told me I could do an accelerated degree program, I would have been like, that sounds interesting. But I also knew the type of student I was, and I wanted to really make sure that I was doing well in all classes. So I might have been a little hesitant at first and not wanting to take, maybe more than the typical 5 classes a semester. So it's good that, you all are here again getting the education on these different ways that you can kind of propel yourself forward and really excel for your own personal goals as well throughout your educational career. So with that, that brings me really to the end of the accelerated degree part. This is my direct contact, so you all can please feel free to reach out to me via email. I did put the QR code to our virtual tour, so you'll actually be able to tour the campus, interact on that campus tour. If you would like more information, you can also go ahead and scan that QR code. More than happy to hear from any of you all and facilitate any questions that you have after this session has ended, maybe more specifically about St. Leo. But at this point, that'll wrap me up. And I think we have about 15 minutes or so for questions before we have to wrap up. So let's see what we have.
Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation, very informative. And I guess we have a couple of questions that I guess you can take it as I was responding to many of them. There was a question from the Atam Murad. He is from Turkmenistan. And said that, are these scholarships renewable or just for one time? Can you respond regarding your university, please?
Yeah, so I can respond for St. Leo. All of our scholarships are renewable each year. There are specific requirements, so you would have to, and since they're merit scholarships, you would have to keep up your GPA. So you would have to maintain a certain GPA requirement in order to have the scholarship renewed each year. So that's why it's important to really do well in school and not to slack off. But that's specifically for St. Leo, so I'll let my colleagues go into their universities as well.
Well, for St. Cloud, yes, that scholarship that is available for all international students and is automatic to them, that is renewable. We do have additional scholarship, but it is normally merit-based. And so that's one of the things to note on merit versus non-merit. Our main scholarship is non-merit based. We do then have that additional merit-based scholarship, but that would be, whether that's renewable, depends on your progress at the university. And so there are additional opportunities for funding. They are more limited because we do offer that initial one to everyone. So that's something to keep in mind. But yes, our primary and major scholarship that funds most of that is renewable each year. So, Ling?
Yeah, so thank you, Wei. Just like my 2 colleagues here, CMU actually, well, the 2 colleagues school here, CMU actually, the scholarship we offer, it is renewable for international student up to 4 years. However, once you get admitted and you declare your major, a lot of times you could apply for departmental scholarship. So for example, if you're an engineering student, you could get scholarship from the College of Engineering. But for that scholarship, you will have to check with the department and see whether that's a renewable. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. I think we have also one more question. Rustam was asking about, can I apply for 3 or more scholarships in one time that your school offers?
Yeah, so the nice thing is scholarships generally are able to be applied on multiple different levels and are cumulative. So unless there is something specific in one of the scholarships that you receive, and this is where going and making sure you understand what you're receiving is really important, which is a fairly rare thing that a scholarship would say you're not allowed to receive anything else. That scholarships are cumulative. So if you're able to find other scholarship to help fund the remaining costs that you have, by all means. And then always going back to that concept, same thing with CPT or OPT. I believe all three of us also allow the opportunity to work up to 20 hours. And so the big thing, show that you've got the funding kind of to get through the first year when you go to the embassy, and immediately take a job to help fund your education. And so that's always an important part as well, is not just the scholarship of receiving, which we would all love just to receive free money. Sometimes we have to go work for it. That's why we're all up bright and early today. We do have to work for our jobs, and that's a part of life. Hopefully, we'll be able to guide you to something that we enjoy, or that you enjoy as much as we do. So.
Great. Dr. Lin, can you add something also?
Yeah, wait till you talk. You did such a good job, and I kind of forgot what the one's question about. Can you kind of remind?
Yeah,
the scholar.
Yes, the
Sorry.
question was, can the student apply to several types of questions that your university offers?
Yeah, so at the CMU, you could stack some of the scholarship, just like we mentioned. So you could have the merit-based scholarship. You could also have the housing grant or housing scholarship. And of course, we welcome international student or any student for CMU to bring the outside scholarships. So the more scholarship you have, the more power to you. And yeah, that's pretty much for CMU. Thanks.
Thomas Sawyers, I guess you've already responded to this question, or if you want to add something else, you can go ahead.
Yeah, no, I can just go ahead and add real quick. For our scholarships, yes, they're going to be the merit-based, so that's something that you're automatically going to be reviewed for. And then you could stack on the Global Citizen Scholarship as well. So that's the additional $3,000 scholarship on top of the merit. So you do have the potential to be reviewed for that as well.
Great. And we have two questions to wait. First, Jaren, he's thanking you all for this great presentation, and he's asking, what are the most popular majors offered by St. Cloud University?
Yeah, so I just put that in the chat as well. The St. Cloud has a wide range, so everything from engineering. We have a phenomenal school of business that we're very proud of, that is AACB accredited, and that we are, those are some of the big ones. Engineering, I'm always proud of our College of Liberal Arts. That's something that I personally value as part of US education, that understanding a wide range of degrees before you specify or major or start reading a specific subject. I think that that's really phenomenal. So myself, I'm actually a graduate of St. Cloud State. That my areas were political science, international relations, and mass communications. So looking at public relations in that regard. The nice thing about that is both of those were allowed for a lot of diversity in the degree as well. So I actually studied Spanish. I studied abroad at our location. We have a branch campus over in the United Kingdom that happens to be in the Harry Potter castle, where Harry Potter was filmed. And so that's always kind of exciting that students would be able to come and have additional international experiences. And as part of my Spanish degree, then I also studied down in Costa Rica. And so all sorts of opportunities. We have a phenomenal econ department. I'm really impressed with all of the work they do. Everything from biology onwards. So I realize that's a pretty comprehensive answer. Sorry.
Great. I think as we still have time, maybe Dr. Lin Zhang and Thomas, you can also add popular majors for your university.
Sure, I can start. So at CMU, the most popular majors for our international student are, business. Under business, of course, the finance, information system, and then computer science and engineering. So we have ASCSB accredited business school, just like St. Cloud, and we also have ABIT credit engineering. Surprisingly, actually, we have a fashion design major, which is also accredited by, I think it's called NASAT, the National I shouldn't even try to kind of spell out the whole thing, but it's a good accreditation. And so we also have a student that are interested in psychology. So those are the majors that are super popular for our international student. Thank you.
The main major popular interest that we have at St. Leo for particularly international students would be our STEM programs. So our computer science and our cybersecurity. So we actually just built about 3 years ago a brand new state-of-the-art cybersecurity lab, which we do hold a special accreditation from the NSA. So our students are actually able to go in there and get that hands-on experience, being able to do firsthand hacking into systems, how to build systems, how to secure systems. They host 2 times a year a Capture the Flag event. So they do have a lot of fun being able to go in there and try to retrieve the flag and come out and not be detected. So that is a large scale event. And then of course our business programs, ranging from social media, global marketing management, hospitality, right here in our backyard. And one program that's really just another really hands-on one is going to be our criminal justice program. So we actually have a crime scene house on campus. Our students are able to go in and reenact crime scenes and do different cool things to the extent of how to survey a crime scene, how to react to different types of crimes, and ensure that, you know, the skills that you're learning in the classroom, you're able to reinforce and really put to test. So those are just a few of the many different programs that we offer.
Awesome. So I think for now we don't have any questions, and I would like to thank you again for this wonderful presentation. And for the participants, you see that all panelists, Dr. Ling Zhang from Central Michigan University, Wade Sherman from St. Cloud University, and Thomas Sawyers from St. Leo University have left their contacts on chat, and you can also see phone numbers for WhatsApp chat, whichever works for you best. So if you still have your questions or that you just could not answer as here, you can go ahead, chat on WhatsApp, or go to the platform back and find the university booth and chat on the platform. So thank you so much again, Dr. Ling Zhang, Wade Sherman, and Thomas Sawyers, and thank you so much for the participants. Have a good day.
Well, thank you so much for hosting us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate
and we
it.
want to, all 3 of us are excited to welcome you to the United States, regardless of what institution you decide to go.
Wait.
So you're
Absolutely.
welcome.
You are
Thank
more
you.
than welcome here. We cannot wait.
Great. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.